Welcome to the eHunter podcast, where we talk about all things hunting. If you enjoy hunting tips, tactics, stories, and entertainment, this is the podcast for you. Make sure and subscribe to the podcast as well as to our YouTube channel. All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. This is going to be a fun podcast. It's going to be enjoyable. You guys are going to learn a lot, and we're just going to have a lot of fun. So with me on the line today, I have Jonathan with Red Beard Outdoors. Jonathan, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, guys? And this is going to be kind of awkward for me because I'm used to staring at the camera, and I don't have to worry about that now.
No, yeah, you don't even have to worry about it. You can turn that camera. Actually, I like having the camera on because I like seeing you. Like, the conversation's better actually seeing each other. But yeah, you don't even have to worry about the camera this time.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's kind of different too.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Glad to have you on. You're doing some awesome stuff over there. I've been really enjoying following what what's been going on over there on your page and what you've been doing, and wanted to share that with my listeners if they don't know who you are and the content that you're putting out. I mean, it is really good content. So let's kind of kick this off by just doing a quick introduction of yourself. Let everybody know who you are, where you live, what you do, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. And I hate talking about myself, but no, that's why I started a podcast, so I can be the host.
Exactly.
Right?
It's the hardest part, talking about yourself.
Yeah. But in a nutshell, I'm a ginger. First off, for people that don't know, Red Beard Outdoors is so creative, right? But I'm a dad, I'm a husband, so I've got 5 kids.
Wow.
I live out in Utah. I was not born, but I was raised LDS, or for people that don't know, Mormon. I'm very outspoken about my beliefs on that, just being a Christian in general, living the best life you can, being the best example of everything that you can in that aspect. I love fitness. I love archery. I love the outdoors. I love guns. I don't post about it a lot because I'm trying to figure out that aspect of things with social media, but I absolutely love getting out and shooting. And my son is actually going to be out hunting this year with a rifle for his first time. So I'm excited about that. Dive back down that rabbit hole after being down the archery rabbit hole for so long. And then, just again, I'm young, I'm 32. I remember when I used to think that was old, but everyone still calls me young. So I'll say I'm
it's young. It's young.
Just absolutely love Utah. I got, transplanted here from North Carolina and married a girl here and just decided to stay here because the public land and so many opportunities, everything from desert to, we've got forest, we've got mountains, we've got lakes. I'm not much of a beach person, so I don't mind being landlocked. So yeah.
So I didn't realize you were from Utah. Maybe we talked about it and I missed it, but where in Utah are you?
So I'm just north of Salt Lake City. I'm in the Bountiful area.
Okay. I'm just south of Provo, down you know where Fillmore is?
Yeah.
That's where I live, is down here. So we're not too far apart. In fact, I was up in your area just the other day. So yeah, we're not far apart at all.
Together and do some elk hunting. That's a good area. Yeah. I mean, that's a terrible area.
It's a terrible,
Don't ever go to Fillmore.
There's no elk around here.
No elk.
If you can draw a tag here, that's the hard thing. Is just trying to get a tag in one of these units is ridiculous. But heck yeah, man. You need to come down here and do some shed hunting with me. This is a great place to do some shed hunting.
That's something I've never actually gone into. So,
man. We'll get into your first Phorm stuff, but man, when you're hiking the mountains to get in sheds, man, you put on some miles on those boots. And so, yeah, some of that fitness and stuff that we'll get into comes in handy for it. But yeah, man, anytime when you get a chance, you have to come down.
I mean, speaking about sheds, I do want to say, there's a lot of people out there, and obviously the bigger reputation you get, the more people know who you are. They kind of start nitpicking things.
Yeah.
But I will say that Eric over at Hush, like, I've met him personally, and honestly, he's one of those guys that would do what he's doing without social media.
Yeah. He
He was doing it well before YouTube. He was doing it well before, like, he carried a camera around just for himself to be able to go back and share those memories with his future, whoever it was, kids, family, whatever.
Yep.
And that dude is a mountain goat. So talking about fitness, like, shed hunting is just another part of that, getting into the outdoors. And if I didn't have other obligations, like kids,
I'd say 5 kids,
their schedules, trying to pursue their, competition baseball, competition dance.
Yeah.
You guys out there that understand that life, you kind of have to give up some of the things, and shed hunting was something that I just haven't quite gotten into yet.
So once your kids get a little bit older, so I'm a little bit older than you. I've got 4 kids, but when they get up to that age and they want to go with you to do those things, then it's good, because then, well, and they're into fitness too. They're, like you said, my kids, baseball and whatnot. In fact, I just sent one of my kids off. He's a swimmer. which is a
Mm.
grueling sport, man. Anybody that can swim,
Oh
man, you
yeah.
got to be fit to do that. But yeah, getting them out shed hunting and doing trail cameras and stuff like that. It's fun to get them out. So, how old's your oldest?
So oldest is 24, and he's actually a commercial pilot. He's licensed to be a pilot.
Oh wow. Okay, so
Still
you.
working through that. Yeah, still working through getting his hours.
Uh-huh.
And yes, the guys out there doing the math real quick, looking like that lady on the meme
Yeah,
that's like,
yeah.
wait a second, hold on,
What's up
you
with
know. Yeah,
that?
but no, I wasn't 8 when I had my first kid. My wife's a little bit older than me, although I
Okay.
say she's my same age because she looks younger and I look older. So we kind of meet in the middle there. But
Yeah.
yeah, so my oldest is 24. He's working on hours. So anyone out there that's a pilot and needs a co-pilot, someone that can help him get hours, we greatly appreciate that.
So
But
my
yeah,
my dad is a pilot. You'd have to go down to Mesquite to fly, but he flies quite a bit down there. So option. It's a
sweet. I'll
bit of a
just
trip,
kick him
but
down there then.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially during
For
the
people
winter.
that don't know, like renting a plane
Oh.
is ridiculous. Like, yes, you get your pilot. So he went through all the schooling, and then you kind of have two routes, and one of them is instructor route, which
Mm-hmm.
basically they told him that they couldn't promise him a job. He'd be doing paperwork, would not be getting hours, and so it was like kind of pointless. So he skipped over that. But now going into it, like anyone that has a degree also kind of understands this
Yep.
too, where they're like, "Well, we want experience." What the like?
How do I get
How am I supposed to
experience if
get
I
it?
don't have experience?
Exactly, exactly. Or they want you to be an instructor with experience, which he wouldn't have gotten the experience. Like the school flat out told him, you're going to be doing paperwork until we've got a spot open that you can actually get hours.
Mm,
And so he's going down the other option, I guess, is you have to pay for your hours and to rent a plane. And this is on the cheaper end to rent a plane, to pay for the fuel, and to have the insurance and everything. It is $250 an hour
ooh, ooh! I
for
didn't realize
every
it was
for the
that
fuel,
much.
renting the plane, everything,
Oof.
and that's when they're available. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money, you
Man.
know. So,
Dang.
on top of the 60 to 70,000 it costs to get your
Actually.
pilot's license,
Yeah.
which he is commercial. Like he could go and fly a Delta plane right now if
Mm-hmm.
if he's got license for it.
Right.
Anyway, we're going down that rabbit hole,
No,
but yes, it
that's
is expensive, guys.
That's crazy because I had a buddy in high school. Now, again, I graduated high school a while ago, and that's what he did. Is he went in and he's actually a pilot for Southwest now.
Mhm.
Lives in St. George, but man, I don't think it was that much when he went through. Like, I almost feel like it
Mhm.
was half that when he went and got
Yeah.
his pilot's license and was having to rent the plane and all that stuff back in the day. So that's
Mhm.
crazy how much it's gone up.
Yeah. I had a mission president, and for people that don't know what a mission is, being LDS or Mormon, you go and serve a 2-year mission by choice. It's not forced. It's not
Mm-hmm.
you're not conscripted to go like some people might think. But my mission president down in Mexico, he actually lives in St. George. He's a pilot for Southwest as well.
Really?
You're not old enough. You're not old enough for him to be your buddy that you're talking about,
No,
though.
no.
But yeah, he loves it. He absolutely loves flying. But he was telling me how up in Idaho, he got a lot of his hours almost for free, except for
Mm-hmm.
the fuel. He would just crop dust. And
Oh
he said
yeah.
he started flying when he was like 13 or 14. Before he drove,
Mm-hmm.
he was flying. And so he had all these hours built up, which that is definitely the way to go.
Yeah.
If you can. Nowadays, it's obviously a lot more regulated. I don't know how Idaho handles things still. Supposedly there's kids out there driving tractors at 10,
Oh
but
yeah.
it but if you can, like if you have any inkling that you want to be a pilot, I would say start as soon as possible
Yeah.
because you're either going to end up paying for it monetarily in the long run or monetarily and with your time
Yep.
in the long run.
Yeah,
So,
for
yeah.
sure, for sure. That's funny. My mission president lives in St. George too. The St. George must be the mecca for mission presidents.
Yeah.
'Cause that's just where they
Oh
go.
yeah.
I mean, it's nice weather, so you can't blame them there. When you get old, it's a good place
Yeah.
to retire.
Yeah, and when it gets hot, you just go in your pool with the
Yep.
shade, and you're good to go.
Or you have a cabin up in Pine Valley that you just go up the mountain up to
Mhm.
Pine Valley and hang out in the cabin, and it's beautiful.
Exactly, exactly. No, I hear you on that. But yeah, so I've got my oldest is 24. Then we've got a 21-year-old. Actually, she just turned 22 this past weekend. She's a compounding pharmacy tech,
Okay.
working on getting her pharmacy degree underway. And then got a 17-year-old who recently won. I'm just bragging on my kids now
Yeah,
at this
please
point,
do.
guys.
I
So
love it.
enjoy this.
Yeah, so this is what it's
But
about.
yeah, I do it as much as I can
For
because they
sure.
deserve it. Although they get under my skin and frustrate me, and they probably don't feel like I feel this way all the time. I am super proud of them. And my 17-year-old, him and his crew, as juniors in high school, just won the Utah State Ken Garf Gaming Award for, like, they don't just play Minecraft, like they
Mm-hmm.
actually code and build games. And
Wow.
they built a game that won and was published on I don't game, so I think it's called Steam, the Steam platform or something
I
like
don't
that.
know. Yeah.
Anyone out there that does online gaming probably know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
anyway, it's out there. They won the award this year, so I'm super proud of him. And then my 9-year-old, then we have a big gap, and then my 9-year-old, he just tried out for competitive baseball. We're waiting to hear back from the
Nice.
coach.
Nice.
He's playing 2 years up, actually competed against some 11-year-olds. So
Wow.
I was happy that he,
Yeah. Had a boy.
pulled his big boy britches up and went out and did that. And then our 7-year-old is she's doing competitive dance, and she's doing her first solo this year. So
Oh
yeah, we got a
wow.
lot of stuff going on.
Oh man, that's fun. In fact, we spent a good portion of the spring over in Richfield doing dance. My daughter, she's
Mm-hmm.
let's see, she's 7 as well, and yeah, that dancing. I didn't realize how big dancing was, but man, when
Mm-hmm.
these girls get into dance and mom gets into dance, look out, man.
Oh yeah,
It's a
it's another game.
it's because I was always a baseball. I understand the baseball. I played baseball, race motocross my whole life, and I get that,
I'm not
but
looking forward to traveling if he gets on this team. That's the one thing. I'm like,
oh.
we'll go into competitive first, and then we'll do travel ball, because like the biggest thing they do, this league that he tried out for, once they hit 12, the 12 year
Mhm.
old league, they go out and play in the Cooperstown
Oh yeah.
tournament every single year,
Yeah.
which is pretty awesome. So I'm hoping he gets in, and he just needs that next level. And here's a soapbox I'll get on. I coach as much as I can until I get to the point where I feel like they actually need more skilled coaching,
Mm-hmm.
which I am not, and I will not pretend to be. So I'll hand it off to someone who is better. But as far as like wrangling kids and teaching them basics like that, I love being involved in my kids' sports.
Right.
And this last year, so we just ended, and we had a team that for the most part showed up,
Mm-hmm.
but we're kind of iffy sometimes about getting to the games. Well, we made it to the tournament, and we weren't the best team, but we were kind of middle of the pack. And our first game was against a team that we had just trounced, like in the last game of the season. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, well, we'll pretty much be in the second round. Like, as long as everyone shows up, we've won this game.
Good. Yeah.
Well, game time comes around,
Oh
and this is the first week of June. Game time rolls up, like 5 minutes from game time, we're 2 people short.
no.
And I'm
Oh
like,
geez.
because you have to have at least 7 players, and that's still not a full field, guys, but
Right.
at least 7 players to be able to play according to the rules in the tournament, and for it to count, not be disqualified. And so 5 minutes, and we've only got 5 players. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm sending out texts. No one's responding to me. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
so we get to the game time. Now, I'm not going to delay it. I was trying to kind of play it off and hope someone would show up. But we get into it, and the other coach noticed he had 13 kids.
Oh geez.
And yeah, they
Pass a
all
few
showed
this
up.
way.
And he was like, do you want us to let you borrow some kids? I said, no, we're good. We're good. Like, I didn't want to be cocky, but I'm like, we got this.
Yeah,
Like,
we're gonna handle our business.
and still hoping that someone would show up while we're batting or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, we get through the entire game, no one else showed up, and we ended up beating them 16-10 with
Wow.
5 kids.
Wow.
Our shortstop and second baseman were exhausted because they kept running out to the outfield because we had no
Oh yeah.
outfielders.
Yeah.
And so I was super proud of them, but I had to break the news to them at the end of the game that even though we beat the snot out of them,
Yeah. Still.
we still lost
Yeah.
because, we won, but we were DQ'd. Is a
Right.
better way of, how I explained it to him. And
Yep.
so my son at that point, he's just gotten to the point where he needs another level of dedication to match his own.
Mm-hmm.
And so him and another boy on the team decided to go and try out for this comp league. So, and going there, oh my gosh, 11-year-olds, guys, 10 and 11-year-olds were throwing down to third base from right field with 2 hops.
Jeez.
Some of them 1 hoppers. And I was like, holy mackerel.
I can't even
And
do
my
that
son-
anymore.
Yeah, and my son was barely making it to second base, and I'm like, I'm
Man.
happy that he's doing that. Like he's
Yeah. Yeah.
catching fly
That's,
balls in the outfield. I'm good with
I
that.
was saying
Like,
11. You're just glad that he's catching the ball and throwing it into second and not
yeah,
just standing
yeah.
out there, you know?
So we went
Wow.
from him being like, top of the cream of the crop on this
Hmm.
team to being bottom of the barrel over here.
But that's
But he,
good.
he was kind of hanging his head and just being a good dad, just trying to explain to him, like, I'm really proud of the effort you put in.
Yeah.
Yes, you can get better, but you got to realize these kids have been playing comp ball for 3 years and they're 2 years older than you.
Right.
So there's a lot different there. And once I explained that to him, he's super excited to hear back from the coach, and
Oh
I'm
man.
hoping he made it. But we'll
Oh,
see how that goes.
that'll be fun. And just embrace it. I mean, just being able to be there with your kids and watch them.
Mhm.
You know, in fact, as soon as we're done here, I got to run my daughter to, you know, she's, like I said, she's 7. This is her first year actually playing baseball or softball, I guess is what it is. And so, you know, just to be able to go and experience that and be with them. It was, you know, it's fun playing those sports. I miss playing those sports,
Mhm.
but it's a
Mhm.
heck of a lot more fun to watch my kids do. It's a little bit more stressful to watch my kids do it than it is doing it myself, which is the weirdest thing in the world. But
Mhm.
man, it's so fun. So yeah, if he gets into that comp league doing that, that'll be fun. If he gets into travel ball, it is a lot of travel, but again, embrace it, have fun. It's so fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, yeah, I feel you. Say kind of similar situation with my 4 kids. My oldest is 14, and then my youngest is she just turned 4 the other day. So, yeah, we're kind of in the mix of it with you as well, and it's busy, it's fun, but you know, it's great. So, but let's
Yeah.
talk about your podcast and your whole program. I guess it's not just the podcast. This whole Red Beard Outdoors. What made you decide to start that? I mean, like I said, the name is very unique, but what made you
Yeah.
decide to start
Yeah.
it?
So it all started. I was working a desk job at Discover Financial in the Spanish department. I was one of the managers in the Spanish department area, and I just came in one day and was talking to people about, their day off and what they were doing, and a lot of them would binge a show or go and run errands, or and then I'd tell them that I took, at the time my kids were barely walking, one of
Mm-hmm.
them, and the other one was a baby. And I just told them I'd take them for a hike, and yeah, we ran and got some groceries and stuff, but made sure to get outside with them. And they just, like, most of the people there were like, what, how did you, like, they don't even walk, what do you do? I'm like, well, you carry them.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Right. They're little.
uh but I realized how many people were like that, and how they get caught up in this rat race of an office job or whatever it may be. And even though they drive by the Wasatch Mountains every single day right here on the Wasatch Front, they ignore them. They forget they're there.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not there. They're so focused on getting home, kicking their feet up, having a nightcap or whatever after they wrestle their kids to whatever, like all the things you can complain about.
Right.
And they don't enjoy the outdoors. And looking at the Rockies and, right here, the Wasatch Front, it can look overwhelming, but once you get into them, like, you don't have to expect your kids to go hike 5 miles. Like, go
No.
a mile with them or even less.
Yep.
Just get them outside, let them kick dirt around, let them, talk about bugs and squish a, roly poly or whatever they're wanting to do, right?
Right.
Like, throw rocks in the river, right? Whatever it
Favorite
is.
thing. Yep.
And so that's where it all started. And I just was like, well, I'll just put out some pictures of stuff I'm doing with the kids, and I'm already taking the pictures. I'll just post them on Instagram.
Right.
And then I was brainstorming creating a podcast because I didn't want to get into YouTube full blown production, all this stuff. It just, there was a high barrier to entry for what I wanted to do. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, well, I enjoy having conversations with people, so why not podcast?
Yeah.
And that the microphone was like $50, and it plugs into your laptop, and you've got free recording stuff on your Mac.
Mm-hmm.
So, why not just start there? And that's kind of where it started. Then I had a buddy in the office that created the logo. Like, he was going through design school and was like, I kind of drew up a couple of little things I wanted and some colors. And he was like, all right. And of course he took it and like made it look amazing. And
Yeah.
I
I was
look
gonna
back at those drawings still, and I'm like, man, that was so stupid. Like, but I'm not an
say.
artist at all,
Right.
So that is not, I did not get that gene. My daughter did somehow, but I did
Nice.
not. And so anyway, that's kind of how that all started. And then we were talking about this ahead of time, like, I'll never pretend to be the best at anything, and I've even had some people criticize me for giveaways and stuff like that, just because they're like, "Well, you're just trying to whatever grow number of followers and stuff." And I'm like, honestly, I couldn't care less about the number of followers as much
Right.
as being able, like, I feel blessed to have what I have as far as partners,
Mm-hmm.
as far as even not just partners, but people that would, are sending their gear my way for me to be able to use with me and my family.
Right.
I want to be able to give back. And so when I partner up with companies, that is something I say I'd like to give at least one, if not two giveaways this year. Here's what I'm looking to do. And most of the time they're more than willing to help with that as well. um, yes, I gather emails, when I do giveaways and stuff, but that's to be able to communicate with you once a
Right.
week. Like
Right.
I don't blast people with emails. I don't try and sell you stuff. I just want to communicate with you and let you know what's going on.
Mhm.
Um, and things like that. So that's really it as far as giveaways go. And then just with the podcast, I just want people to know uh, people like yourself and
Mhm.
guests that I have on the podcast that are kind of untouchable in a way, quote unquote, because they have so many people that are pulling at their attention.
Right.
It's easier to say, "Hey, can I have your attention for an hour to an hour and a half?" Where we discuss topics that you're already putting out there, or wanting to put out there, or wanting to reach people with.
Mhm.
But I'm going to ask you from my perspective, which is a little bit different than maybe someone else that you've been on their podcast. And so, um, that's a big reason why I started the podcast, was just to be able to share that with other people.
Isn't it fun? Like as I've gotten to the podcast world, like and met a lot of people like yourself, it really is fun to meet these people and get to know them a little bit. Like that's when I reached out, and I reached out to you, but when I reach out to most everybody, like I really don't have an agenda for the podcast. It's more I just want to get to know you, and I want my
Mhm.
followers to get to know you. I mean, I get to know you a little bit through your social media posts and what's going on in your life and what you're doing. But that's just,
Yeah,
a small inkling of what you really
yeah,
get to, get from people. And so that's been my favorite thing about podcasts is getting to know people, who they are as a person. And it's amazing how many great people are out there. As I've interviewed and talked to a lot of people, it's just there's some genuinely good people out there. And I've listened to some of your podcasts, especially over this last little bit, trying to catch up with what's going on in your life. You've had some great people on your podcast.
yeah. No, I appreciate it, and it really is people that I would, if I could, like. There's a guy that I had on, and he's going to be a repeat guest. I've followed his stuff for a while, but Pedro Ampuero, for people
Yeah.
that don't know who he is, or
Yep.
Pedro, if you
Yeah.
want, if you don't speak Spanish, and I just, it kind of gets at me if I say it wrong. But he's over in Spain, and he is just such a genuine guy. Like, he just recently put out a video of his son harvesting his first springbuck,
Yeah.
and how they went through that process. His son is 7, and how he's wanting to get his family involved. He's always talking about his wife. He doesn't hide the fact that he's married. He's not out there trying to be something that he's not. He
Right.
shares genuinely, like, his feelings. He's so passionate. No matter how many times he's killed an animal, he's still, every time he goes up to one, it's a whole nother just rush of emotion. You could feel that through his stuff.
Yeah.
And becoming friends with him now at this point, like, getting to know him is something I wish everyone could do,
Yeah.
and so just getting to share that piece of whoever it is that I have on the podcast. Another one recently too. So I work with Dialed Archery, but I still have people on, like Colby Hanley and Chris B from UV. But I focused more on something that was interesting to me, not necessarily their site. Everyone knows about their gear,
Right.
but about his business, and
Mm-hmm.
how such a young kid, two young guys, have blown it out of the water with
Yeah.
YouTube on one hand, and marketing, and starting 3D printing in his dorm room
Yeah.
on the other hand with Colby. Those things interest me, and so I try and have those conversations that way, um, with people. And then of course I'm a gear nerd, so I love sharing that as well. I do a lot of talking head stuff right now because I don't have that production like
Right.
some of the bigger channels do, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll get there. I'm getting there.
No, I love that podcast you did with Colby and Chris. Like that, honestly, I would probably be a little bit of a fanboy with both those guys. I love the Ultra View stuff. In fact, I just put the new UV slider on my
Mhm.
bow just the other day. Absolutely love it. Love their stuff. And with Chris, like his production, like you're talking about production. In fact, you talked about two people that really know production,
Mhm.
Chris and Pedro.
Mhm.
Like both those guys are like I don't think there's any better than those two when it comes to production. They've got it nailed. And I
Yeah.
love their content, and the podcasts are great. But again, just getting to know them, like you said that about Pedro, like he's a friend now. He's a genuine friend. And that's
Mhm.
really what it comes to. Like all these people that I talk to on this podcast, I mean, yeah, in the beginning, it's like filling each other out a little bit and trying to, see what you like and what you don't. But eventually it really just turns into a friendship. And,
Mhm.
and probably the next time I'm up your way, I'm like, hey, what's going on, dude? What are you doing? Like that's just,
Yeah, come get your bow fixed at Wild Arrow. I'll be
that's,
up there.
oh, all right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like just
yeah.
doing that is fun. I think it's what it's all about. So with you starting your Redbeard podcast, like I think that's an awesome thing to do. And it's just a good platform to be able to talk and have fun. So
Yeah, and you can pause it. You can go look things up while you're listening on
yeah.
the audio only stuff. You can look things up on your phone that we're talking about.
Hmm.
You can pause it for later. I love that kind of that format of the podcast, but also you get a different perspective from each podcast host.
Hmm.
Like I don't send out questions to my guests.
Right.
I'm just like we're just gonna have a good conversation, and
Hmm.
maybe I think we're gonna go down this direction, but listening to the guest I'm like, oh, I want to hit on this a little bit more, and we'll go and steer it in a completely different direction.
Exactly.
I love having conversations for that reason. But the thing is, if anyone can learn anything from me and what I've done is just consistency. And we were talking about that, before we started recording, was just that I'm not the best at everything, and I'll
Hmm.
never pretend to be, but I do show up.
Yep.
I'll be there. I'm not going to be your fastest person to pack out an animal. I'm not going to be the first one up to the ridge, but I'm going to get there. You
Yeah.
can believe that,
Yep.
right? And so that's kind of how I do things. And again, with the post, with the podcast, just being consistent, showing up
Hmm.
is a big deal, and at least not putting out garbage.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
showing up and putting out decent material is definitely something as it's good as well.
But
So.
that's, you know what? I think consistency is king. That's what
Mhm.
people want. They want you to show up. They want to be able to rely on you that, yeah, it's not going to be garbage for one. If they're following your stuff, it's not going to be
Yeah.
garbage. They're going to get something out of it. Even if it's just getting to know someone that they didn't know, some information or some entertainment that they didn't know
Yep.
about before. Just like this. Maybe there's people that don't know your podcast and now they're introduced to it and now they're like, oh man, yeah, he's got some really cool people on this podcast. This is entertaining. I can listen to this when I'm headed out hunting or if I'm driving, into work or whatever. It just opens people's eyes to something different. So yeah, consistency is definitely king. I've done well at times with consistency. I've got a buddy. In fact, I just did a podcast with him the other day. It used to be Pole and Feathers, and now it's the Western Territory podcast.
Mm.
He does a
Mhm.
live show every Wednesday. Every Wednesday. It doesn't matter who he's got, but it's just you just know that every Wednesday night he's going to have a podcast going up. You can watch it live on Instagram, and it's just you can bank on it. And I think that there's a lot to be said about that. And same with you. It's just very consistent. You know that it's going to be there. It's going to be good content, and that's what I want my listeners to understand is that Jonathan is putting out really good content. I think anybody that listens to my podcast would enjoy your podcast, and so I encourage those that are listening to go and check it out. You've had some big names on the podcast, at least big names to me. Like Pedro, he's huge. Chris and Colby, they're huge. So yeah, I'm a little jealous that you got some of those guys on there.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I mean, yeah, and that's the thing too is value exchange is a big thing as well. You know, to be able to get those guys on. I didn't start out with which I don't want to speak for them, so don't start a podcast tomorrow and then go ask Pedro to come on because
Right.
he's probably too busy.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of stuff going on, but think about it yourself. Like if you were in their position, would you have the time to hop on the person's podcast? And so like the way I started was the first, I want to say it was about 30 or so. I did solo. And the reason why I did that was again to prove to myself that I would show up. Before I asked anyone big to come on, I would
Yeah.
show up. And then I started with kind of some closer friends
Mm-hmm.
that I wanted to share their stories. And then I moved up from there, kind of like in my mind, different tiers of people that had the availability in their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then getting to the point where, you know, I'm able to schedule out months ahead of time because they already know basically what their year looks like because they are so structured.
Right.
And I'm able to get in on their schedule.
Yeah.
And, you know, it really is like that's a big thing that I've learned from Andy Frisella and First Form is just that idea of value exchange. What do you provide?
Yeah.
And it's not that the people that you're looking to either partner with or have on your podcast or even talk with, it's not that they're trying to be dicks about it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just like they are to the point where they're performing at such a high level, they can't deviate from taking that time from their schedule
Right.
unless it genuinely pushes their mission forward as well.
Right.
And so again, they're not trying to be mean, but they have a goal and a mission as well. And so you have to realize that. And what do you provide? What value do you provide for them to be able to provide you an hour of their time?
Exactly.
Um, again, going back, I keep bringing up Pedro because he just, I was chatting with him yesterday just about that video that he put out about his family and how that just hit really home for me. I wish my kids could go out and hunt at 7.
Right.
They'd be out there with me, but anytime I'm able to share stuff like that with my kids, I want them to succeed almost more than I do in those areas. And so, um, you know, just he has so much going on that in his spare time, quote unquote, if you want to call it that, he's with his family. He's
Mhm.
he's with his dad, his wife, his kid, kids at this point, and it's something that it's valued for him, so to be able to take that time away, uh, I look at that as it's cherished time. That's
Yeah.
gold. Like I need to ask good questions.
Right.
The podcast needs to be a good conversation because he
Right.
just gave me that chunk of his time that could be spent with these other people that are valued much more to him than I am,
But it speaks volumes to you as well that they're willing to take that time. That's what I always I
Mhm.
think about that. I think of that about you, Jonathan, to be able to take your time to come in and meet with me. And I get it. Yeah, like you said, those guys are performing at such a high level that it's a little bit
Mhm.
more difficult for them. But really, anybody. I mean, like right now, I'm probably still in time away from you and your kids and your wife and whatever else you got going on, and so that time is valuable. So you got to make it count. And actually thinking about this, like you said, when you start out, I like that you started out with the first 30 episodes by yourself, just to get a feel, make sure that you would show up, because you can show that commitment. And so when you're reaching out to new guests, then they see that commitment. But also when you reach out to sponsors or partners,
Mhm.
they also see that commitment as well, and that consistency. So they know, like, okay, yeah, if I'm going to get with this guy and we're actually going to do something together, I know that he's going to show up every
Yeah.
week. He's going to be on post on social media all the time, so you know what you're going to get with people like you. And I kind of want to dig into some of your partners a little bit. So you said First Form. So I do 75 hard at least once a year. It kicks my butt every single time. It's terribly awesome.
Mhm.
So I know Andy Frisella and all the First Form stuff. I got good friends that are really involved in First Form. But let's give it a little shout out to some of these people that you're working with. Obviously, First Form is one
Yeah.
of them, but who else you got too?
Well, so the first thing, guys, too, is I have a 9 to 5. Well, I call it a 9 to 5. I have a job that pays the bills,
Yeah.
and so that's the other thing too. Is when you get into this, don't think that because I'm still not even close to making the money that I need to cover my bills with the podcast. This is really a labor of love, and and I have amazing partners, but again, value exchange. I don't feel like going to certain partners and starting it off with, "Hey, pay me," kind of
Right.
deal. That's
Right.
not how you handle things, and so and this is kind of a little glimpse behind the scenes here, but with partners, uh, I choose them as much as they choose me,
Hmm.
and so some of them I've reached out to, some of them have reached out to me, but I want to build that relationship, so I start off at a certain level, and again, the value exchange, what prove my worth to them.
Hmm.
I like that rather than going in and saying specifically, um, you owe me this or you owe me that kind of deal. I don't like that mindset, and
Hmm.
so. Uh, all of the partners that I work with are people that I've genuinely chosen to work with. So, First Form was one. I was lucky enough to get in when the First Form Outdoors branch wasn't even officially a thing.
Yeah.
And remotely from outside of headquarters, I was able to help Jake and Dale Beatty was another one, and AJ Kazmerzak, and Jessica Crane, and there was a couple of other people that you'll recognize their names as people that have been around since the beginning of First Form Outdoors. But we kind of banded together. We didn't know each other from Adam, and we just recognized each other had those values and came together remotely, not having ever met each other in person, and helped to bolster this push from inside of headquarters to meet the outdoorsmen and women where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is it's not just a fitness only type of company. There's First Form, and you're going to look at that page and you're going to see a lot of, gym. I don't want to call them gym rats, but they're gym
They
rat
are.
style,
Yeah.
clothing and jacked people and
Yep.
jacked and tan.
Well,
And
that's how you are, right? Underneath all that, you're
no,
super jacked and tan, and
no. Right now, I'm definitely rocking a dad bod, that's for sure. But no, I just that's kind of my first impression of what First Form was, and I was like, man, like I love the community that I see about it. I love Andy Frisella's stuff, but I don't know. And then found out that this was happening, and so
yeah.
jumped on board with the outdoor side because there's people that just want to be able to play with their grandkids and not
Mhm.
be in pain. They want to be able to go camping for longer than being cooped up in the house. They want to be able to go fishing, and people may not realize this, but sitting on a boat for hours on end, casting, walking up and down the boat, whatever it is, like that takes a level of fitness.
Yep.
Being able to hike with your grandkids. What happens if your grandkids get hurt, or even your kids get hurt? Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's a video, unfortunately, of a mother that had let her baby in a stroller just behind the car, but their driveway was on a slight incline, and she was unloading groceries, and the stroller was rolling out into the road,
Oh,
and it was a main
geez.
road behind
Oh,
behind or
geez.
in front of their house, and she tripped. She was not in shape. Like I don't want to pick on anyone for whatever their circumstances are, but
But
she was not a fit mother. She was not fit in the aspect of physically fit
mm-hmm.
to be able to run down that stroller, because we've all been there where something has happened that we've had to chase the kids down for something.
Right.
And luckily, if I remember the video correctly, there was a neighbor that saw it and was able to run over and stop that stroller, because there was a car coming
Mm-hmm.
that did not see that stroller. And so I never want to be in a position where I cannot physically be capable of taking care of my children and grandchildren.
Right.
Like that is just something that I don't ever want to be in. So I feel like a lot of outdoorsmen and women are the same way, whether it be with archery, with rifle hunting, with fishing, with just camping. We want you to be able to enjoy the outdoors and experience more, which is the slogan there, experience more, because whatever you love, we want you to be able to experience more of that.
Yeah.
And so that's a big thing behind the First Form outdoor side is you don't have to be jacked and tan. You don't have to want a six pack or be able to step on a bodybuilding stage. We want you to genuinely live a happier, healthier, more successful life and experience more of whatever it is that brings you joy in the outdoors. So
And
that's really what it's all about.
and that's what I found. Like I said, I was telling you earlier, I got a friend that's really into it, and it is. So she does a lot of coaching, and in her coaching, it's a lot of that. It's just living a healthier life, being a better person. You don't have to be I don't know, the Cameron Haynes of this world, or like you don't have to be those people, but just to live a healthier life, to be able to do the things that you want to do, whatever that is. I'm a marathon runner. I love running marathons, which is the stupidest thing to say because marathons really suck. But I love running them.
Who's your therapist?
Running is my therapist.
Because people that run for fun are
Oh, dude, I would kill people if I didn't run. Like seriously, that is my that's what brings me down every day, is to be able to go for a run. It just wears me out. Then I don't have any energy to lose my mind on
brings me
anybody.
down just thinking about running. So I feel you. Okay.
You know what's weird is I started running on my mission is when I started running, and in fact I've got a marathon book that I'm looking at right here. I got so into it that I just loved it, and it made me feel good. I don't know, like we were talking about baseball and whatnot earlier. I played baseball and it was great, but I wasn't really good at it. I could play and I can still play.
Yeah.
But like running, like I ran the Southern Utah half marathon a few weeks ago, took second place. It's
That's
something
awesome,
I'm
dude.
actually good at, and so it's like, oh, like I got to keep doing it. So, anyways, back to my point of it is I was like, I want to do those things, and it's hard. I've noticed as I've gotten older, because I'm 38. As I've gotten older, it's harder to do those things. When I was 25, or even like I said on my mission, I could run. It wasn't no big deal. I didn't have to train. I could just show up and run. And now I've noticed that I've got to, we were talking about supplements, doing different supplements to help kind of keep my body where it needs to be able to do those things. And so even for those people that aren't marathon runners, I feel like they need to be doing those things to do whatever it is that you like to do. Like you said, sitting on a boat casting all day, that can wear you out. Playing pickleball with your grandkids, that'll wear you out, So any of these things like that you want to do, I think it's vital that you use something, first form or whatever. You use something to help you live the best life you can.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing too, guys, again, this is all like the partners that I've chosen are obviously the best in my opinion at what they do, and you take it for what it's worth. But with First Form, uh, there's 110% money back guarantee that I like to hit on because I don't know of any other supplement company that has that,
Yeah.
and it just goes to speak to the quality that we truly believe in. Where if you, it's sometimes hard to get this stuff, at a store with
Mm-hmm.
First Form. If you're in the Midwest, maybe a little bit easier. But if you order it and if you order it online, I can understand that being a little, you don't know what it's going to look like, right? And
Right.
so you order it, try it. If you even just don't like the flavor, which they're pretty true to what they say they are, but if you don't like the flavor, we will make sure you get that exchange, and
Nice.
it's not gonna cause you any pain. The customer service is unmatched when it comes to First Form. They will genuinely answer you normally within 24 hours, but I
Mm-hmm.
think the promise is within 48. But even on the weekend, I've gotten emails back at like 9 p.m. on a Sunday. I'm like, what are you
Jeez.
doing? Go to bed. Like,
Got to take care of the
email me
people.
tomorrow. No, go to sleep, whatever it is. But I challenge people to put that to the test along with,
Yeah.
if you're not quite ready to buy, I understand that as well. If you don't need anything, that's fine. Go join the Facebook group.
Yeah.
The First Form Outdoors Facebook group. We're over 6,000 members strong at this point, and you will find people that are your tribe,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be mountain bikers, whether it be people that just enjoy sitting in the front yard playing with
Mm-hmm.
their kids, baseball parents. You've got, again, archers, rifle guys, people that have hunted in Africa, people that love to fish. All of that stuff is in the First Form Outdoors group. It costs you nothing to get in. We just want to see you there and meet people that you genuinely can relate to.
That's awesome. That is awesome. What are you drinking over there, by the way? Speaking of first form, what is that?
Yeah, so this was a special flavor
I was gonna say
from Summer Smash. So this is called
Summerade.
Summerade, but it's basically strawberry lemonade, which is this has now become my second favorite. My first favorite is the grape smash.
Grapes.
And if anyone hasn't seen Dale Beatty's moves after he drank some grape smash at Summer Smash,
Yeah.
you should definitely go check that out because so Summer Smash at First Form headquarters is something we do every summer.
Yeah.
It's grown bigger and bigger. I can't even remember how many. I think it was over 3,000 tickets that sold out in less than a minute
Oh, geez.
when they, yeah,
Wow.
when they put it up online. And so they had Vanilla Ice performing this year, and I think Ludacris was there and someone else. So they had some big names
Yeah.
out there performing, and but that was just part of it. So you go in, you get to see headquarters, you get to go work out at the First Form gym, you get to meet so many different amazing people. And of course, then you've got the concert. It's just a big, amazing. It's not the party in sense of like drinking party.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an amazing, uplifting party in
Man.
general. And you get access to certain things like this energy drink was, and it even says right there, Summer Smash flavor. So I didn't go to Summer Smash, but we had a limited quantity of these afterwards that they sold on the site. And then there's some new flavors coming out as well from Summer Smash, so the summer flavors.
Nice.
And rumor has it that one of them is it's like a rainbow sherbet style
Ooh.
protein powder.
Oh, protein
So
powder.
yes.
Whoa.
Hmm.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That might be a
So
little interesting.
yeah, exactly. And so the thing is, guys, like the quality, we do them at level 4 facilities. All of our products are made in the U.S. level 4 facilities. So when a new flavor comes out, we literally have to shut down an entire line, sanitize it, do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And the big thing with the protein is, and why this is different, because people may be thinking, oh, I could just go to Walmart, whatever. Yes, I get it, but if you've ever had the bubble guts with
Right.
protein, you've ever had the
Exactly.
protein farts, you've ever had the whatever
Yep.
issues with protein, here's what happens. Just kind of dumbed down to my level. I say
Yeah.
dumb down because I'm stupid when it comes to these
Whatever.
chemistry things. But basically, what it is if you take a chicken breast and you throw it on the grill for 4 hours, or you take that same chicken breast and you put it in the crock pot for 4 hours, which one are you going to prefer?
Yeah, crock pot for sure.
Probably one in the crock pot.
Yep.
So, what happens with these bigger companies, because First Form may seem big, but we are very small compared to a lot of the supplement industry.
Right.
But with the bigger companies that are cranking out these proteins for Costco, Walmart, et cetera, the big bulk stuff, they are overcooking the protein because they're trying to get it out as super fast as possible. They're flash cooking it basically.
Uh-huh.
And what that does is it denatures the protein in a way that you're not able to use all the protein. It kind of burns it. And then
Yeah.
they have to put fillers and flavors and stuff on top of that to mask that burnt flavor basically that you would get from it. But when your body gets it, it doesn't care about flavor. It just looks at it and it's like, what the frick is this? And
Right.
that's why you get bloating, right? Is your body's trying to figure out, I can't digest it. I don't know what I need to do with this. I'm kind of freaking out here.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't really get all of the protein that they're saying you're getting in that scoop. Um, I talk about the word game with my kids. I'm like, did you load the dishwasher? They're like, yeah, but well, okay. Did you put the soap in? Did you start the like,
Yeah.
that's kind of how I feel like a lot of companies get away with things.
Yeah.
Is they'll say certain things, they can legally say it so they don't get sued,
Right.
but it's not necessarily in your best interest. And so nothing against any other companies particularly, but that's why First Form, I've never had any issues with bubble guts. I've had people that say that they were allergic to whey that tried our whey protein
Mm-hmm.
isolate and did not have the same reaction.
Oh,
And that
interesting.
just goes back to the same thing of, the way it's processed. For people out there that are worried about like sucralose and things like that, I'm not concerned with it personally because it's a derivative of stevia.
Right.
But for people that are concerned with that, I get it. We have a natural line as well that is more for the people that are concerned with those
Mm-hmm.
unnatural flavorings. And so definitely recommend checking it out. Always feel free to reach out to me, whether it's on Instagram, email, whatever. If you have any questions, more than happy to talk to you about it. Or just go and hop in the First Form Outdoors Facebook group and ask questions there too. You won't feel stupid. People won't pick on you for asking questions there.
Say, and they have a lot of it. Like, yeah, you go online. They have a lot of information online that you can go and find. I'm not on the Facebook. I will be on the Facebook now, but yeah, there's a lot of information out there on the First Form stuff and just like how clean it is, how legit. And I know that most companies or a lot of companies say that they are. They advertise that, oh yeah, we're clean. And then you really look into it, and there's a lot of iffy stuff in there. I haven't seen that with the First Form stuff. And actually, I can testify to what you're saying because so I've used a lot of different kinds of protein powders, and we're really going down a rabbit hole of First Form and just fitness and diets and stuff like that. But I've used a whole bunch of different kinds of protein powder from even the ones here in Utah. What's that chick's company? Oh man, like Clean Simple Eats or
Okay. Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Oh, anyway, she does a protein powder, and actually, it's pretty good too. And I've compared it to like the Walmart brands and some of the other brands that are around, and hers actually doesn't bother me. But man, these other ones they tear me up inside. Like I honestly get like nauseous, sick with some of the protein. And the First Form I've never had that issue with it. It's always been great for me.
Well, and I can tell you, so first off, Jake, at one point, and I don't recommend this. This is not a doctor's recommendation. Don't try this, whatever the disclosure is, I need to say. But Jake at one point was doing 6 protein shakes a day to get his
Ooh.
protein in because he was doing, I can't remember what exactly, he was traveling a lot or something.
Ooh.
He didn't have those issues. I've done to where there's some days where I'll do 3, if not 4, if I'm traveling and I'm just trying to keep my protein numbers up. And I don't have the bloating, I don't have the gut issues. If you imagine doing 4 protein shakes of some of these other brands, like you would
No.
not want to sleep in the same room as you.
No, even
And so like,
the
yeah.
Orgain ones that you buy at Costco, if you try to do 3 or 4 of those a day, that would mess you up.
Yeah. So, and that's why I'm saying it as a challenge for people, like go out and if you're already taking supplements, just the next time you order, try this
Mm-hmm.
just because, just try something new.
Yeah.
And we've got some amazing flavors. You know, one of my favorites is watermelon right now, this time of year, especially.
Yeah.
It's nice and refreshing, not heavy. Like I said, in about a week or so, rumor has it we'll be launching some different
Oh,
flavors for the summer.
rainbow sherbet.
But yeah, definitely, yeah, rainbow should do cold water and that mixed together.
That'd be
Perfect.
dang good,
But
man.
yeah, oh yeah, you're telling me. But again, if you have any questions, guys, and look, I genuinely love talking about the things that I use, the partners that I have as
Yeah.
well, just because, again, when you like something and you use something, it's easy to talk about. So I
Hmm.
don't feel pushy or salesy talking to people because I'm like, look, you don't want to try it, that's cool. I
Right.
get it. But this is why I like it. And I genuinely can just talk about it because, again, whether it be from the glass company I use to the bow that I use, the
Hmm.
arrows, whatever, I use this stuff and I really do enjoy it. Are there other good things out there? Yeah,
Sure.
I'm not going to say that there isn't, but this is why I use what I use.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think, and it's honestly a big reason, like not a big reason, but one of the reasons I wanted you on the podcast, because I've, like I said, I've consuming a lot of your content lately, and you just genuinely talk about the stuff that you use. And in fact, I'd love to do another podcast with you. I know we probably can't do it today, but, and just talk about some of the gear stuff and your gear focus and really dig into that. And just, I think it's fun, but you're very genuine in the way that you talk about this stuff. And I was kind of, like I said, I was planning on you talking a little bit about First Form today because you're very genuine about it. And I think my listeners need to hear that, from a genuine standpoint rather than again, I don't want to say a gym rat, but some of those gym rats saying it like, oh yeah, whatever, dude, you take steroids. But just having
Yeah.
a real dad, like most of my listeners are real people, real moms and dads that just are trying to live their best life. And so hearing it from you, and please don't take that offensively, but just hearing it from a guy
No.
like you, like that means a lot, and comes
Yeah.
across differently.
And there's definitely, you're not going to get picked on for, like, you'll get, okay, let me explain the group a little bit better. And the more people you get to know, you understand. But um, you're not going to get picked on for making a mistake, but you will get called out on your bull crap. So if you go out and say like, hey, I'm going to do this and this and this, and you're going to have someone that follows up with you is like, hey,
Yeah.
what's going on with this? What's going on
Yeah.
with your goals? And kind of in a sibling rivalry kind of way, not a mean way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, you're such a failure.
Right.
It's definitely hey, we want to see you succeed. You said you were going to do this. How can we help you with that goal?
Yeah.
If you're getting stuck here, what can we do to help you there? And so that's kind of, again, don't feel, I'm not saying that you need to go on there and like spill your guts and all that stuff, but like when you make a mistake, we got people that are to lift you up,
Right.
and you don't have to feel like you're saying the normal dad that maybe picks up a chicken nugget from their kids or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't have to be perfect.
Right.
We want you to make mistakes so that you can learn from them and then get better.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, be real.
that's
Go
just
back to the
kinda
Chris
just-
B thing. Just be real. Be
Be
who
real,
you. Yeah. Be who you are. Be.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. So, what do you recommend? I'm headed to a TAC event, a Total Archery Challenge, in a few weeks. What is First
Going to
Form?
Utah?
No, I'm actually doing the Colorado one. I got invited to go to the South Dakota one this weekend, but not gonna be able to. I'm gonna go do a different shoot here down in Cedar City on Saturday. But so I'm gonna do the Colorado
Going to
one.
Utah though, right? Please tell me you're going to Utah.
I'm not. I should though. Are you going?
All right, I'm hanging up. Of course I'm going to Utah, man. Yeah. So anyone going to the Utah shoot, I've actually, and this is the first time I'm saying it, so people listening to the podcast here will get this first. But I'm actually doing a bow giveaway with Initial Ascent
Yep.
at the Initial Ascent booth, at TAC. So it'll
Sweet.
just be for the TAC weekend. So if you're at TAC, come check that out, and it's gonna be a good one. So it's
Yeah.
gonna be the PSE Omen, blacked out with red strings.
Nice.
Pretty sweet setup. But yeah, that'll be fun. So if you're at TAC Utah, come say hi. I'll either be shooting or I'll be at the Initial Ascent booth. And I think I'm gonna be bringing some First Form stuff there as well. So if you
Sweet.
want to try
Okay.
it there, I'll have it there as well.
Awesome. Do you have a group that you're shooting
but
with
no.
there?
Yeah, just kind of a mixed bag.
Okay.
One day I'm gonna be shooting with one group. Another day I've got some other buddies that I'll be shooting with. So
Nice.
yep.
Very nice.
I think one day I'm gonna go and shoot with some of the guys from Montana Knife Company.
Okay.
Yeah, those guys are always a good crew to be with.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that'd be fun. That is
Oh, yeah.
that is a good crew. No, I should do it. I really should come to the Utah one. It's been a few years since I've done the Utah one. So I lived in Colorado for 7 years and made a bunch of buddies out there. And so for like the
Mhm.
last, oh gosh, 4 years, we just kind of made it a date to go to that one in Glenwood Springs. And so I just really basically bank on that one, but I need to go back to the Utah one because the one here in Utah is a blast. They have some crazy,
Mhm.
crazy shots on some of those courses.
Oh yeah, you should go.
All right. All right. I'll look.
Peer pressure.
I wonder if I can still sign up for it though.
There's probably some later dates or afternoon stuff openings. I imagine. I know it sells out pretty quick. I think it's the biggest one in the U.S.
It is. Yeah, it's the biggest one they have. And usually it does fill up pretty quick, but yeah, I might be able to get like a I want to call it a turn back tag, but it's not a turn
Yeah.
back tag. You know.
Return tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, while you're looking that up,
yeah.
I don't know how much longer you wanted to. I'm good to chat, but
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
cool.
I've got about another 15 20
So
minutes, so we got time.
so something I also want to hit on too, talking about doing a bow giveaway. I've actually got something going on talking about giving back again from partners. Of this is the biggest giveaway I've done to this point. Um, the over $2,000 worth of archery equipment. So I'm calling it the everything but a bow giveaway. So what that is obviously not a bow, but basically I want you to either some people have it in their budget to get that nice top of the line flagship bow that they want, but then you can't slap any accessories on it. So you kind of have to go to a bow that maybe you didn't want and get the good accessories to be able to actually shoot the bow. Unless you're like Joel Turner and you just don't shoot with a sight. But
Yeah, crazy.
you know,
So nuts.
but I mean, things add up. So like you get a $1,200 flagship bow. The price just keeps going up every year, but about $1,200 for a flagship aluminum bow for most companies, and then you get a $400 to $600 sight if you get a good sight. Even the what I would consider the lower end of budget sights, or I guess the middle range of budget sights, are $300 to $400.
Yeah.
And then you get a dozen arrows at least, if not 2 dozen. That a dozen arrows is right around the $200 mark.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a rest. That's another 150 $200. Like all of this stuff starts to add up. And you got the quiver. Then you've got the stabilizers. If you do stay, like all that stuff adds up. So then you need a target to shoot,
Yeah.
right? And so like all of that stuff adds up. And so what I wanted to do was maybe you have a bow that you're looking at. You're like, oh, I want to get some good accessories. Maybe it's last year's bow. Maybe it's a 10-year-old bow. I've had
Mm-hmm.
some people say that have gotten in on the giveaway. You just don't have the budget to upgrade the accessories, or again, you want to go buy that flagship bow, but don't have the money for the accessories. Either way, I want you to be able to do everything and use all the products that I use on my bow with my bow. And then you provide the bow, however that is that you provide your own bow. And that ends up to be over $2,000. So you get
Yeah.
a dialed Arxos sight, you get a Morel high roller target. You've got a stand clicker or a stand thumb release, or if you want the index release, you can get an index release. But take advantage of this giveaway and get the $300
Yeah, I
release
was gonna
rather
say
than the $100 release, right?
That's exactly
But
what I was thinking.
any stand release you want. You get a dozen victory arrows. You get to pick the arrows. We'll make sure they're spined right for your draw length and poundage. You're gonna get some wraps from Boutique. You're gonna get an archery setup, like I call it the archery organizer setup, but it's basically the JQ3 designs,
Mm-hmm.
where it's either a Bitzenberg holder like mount, or if you use the AZ Easy Fletch, either one, he makes both, along with a couple other things that he throws in there. What else am I missing here?
Did you have a rest on there?
A rest from QAD.
Okay.
And what else? Quiver. I didn't do a quiver.
Stabilizer?
Man, that was the one thing I didn't do. Stabilizers from Quattro.
Quattro. Okay.
From Quattro Archery. Yep.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
that's a lot of money when you think, and it's true. Like you buy the bow. In fact, I was building a bow at Shields the other day while I was there. And yeah, once you get the bow, like you said, for $1,200, and then all this other stuff really adds up. I think when I was walking out the door, it was like $3,500 adding on all this stuff. So if you're doing everything but the bow, you're actually adding more money than just the actually bare bow itself.
Oh, and fletchings from AAE, whatever fletchings you end up wanting. If you want their new Air Razor 26s or the Pro Hunter Air Razor 26s, or sorry,
the
Air Razor Pros, which is basically that Pro Hunter Max, the little small vein.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you get all of
That's
that, and all you have to do is go and share the reel if you're on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, just click the link. I'll provide the link for the podcast here, and
sweet.
just go down there, and I just ask for name and email. And another big thing with the email is I had a lot of, when I was doing giveaways last year, um, spammers that would send stuff out and ask for your credit card information to ship you stuff. Look,
Oh,
if I'm
geez.
giving something to you, I'm not going to ask you to pay for shipping. That's freaking ridiculous. Like, what, like that's stupid. And so it'll come directly from whatever company is sending you the stuff. They will send it to you. That's included in the giveaway. So,
Gotcha.
I do that, and I've actually, it went really well announcing the last giveaway live on YouTube. So I'll start doing that, as announcing them live on YouTube.
Nice, nice. Yeah, heck yeah, guys, get into that because that's a huge value, and it really is daunting. And even just replacing if you already have a bow and already have the accessories on it, and you're like, I just need to upgrade my accessories. That's
Mhm.
expensive, man. Like it gets expensive in a hurry. So being able to have a giveaway like this. So this one ends the end of June, right?
Yep, the end of June.
So
Yep.
this podcast will come out on the 21st of June. So you have a little over a week to go in and share that post and they're like I'll put that link down in the show notes. So if you guys want to go in there and grab that link and go from there, great way to do it. So how many times can I put in? Can I put in like a whole bunch of times?
Hey, look, so once when you click that link, it'll tell you all the extra ways you can get in.
Sweet.
Obviously, just subscribing to YouTube, going and following the podcast, leaving a review, tagging all your buddies on the Instagram reel, anyone that needs a new bow set up,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of deal. So
Nice.
yeah, just bring as many people in as you can.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. That's awesome. That's cool that you do that, man. And I appreciate you bringing that up and talking about that with my listeners because I'll admit a lot of my listeners are people that are new into hunting and trying to get it figured out, especially new into archery. We've done a lot of podcasts lately on archery and I've had really good feedback. The people that are listening, man, I've had such cool comments that, that this has helped so much. I've been a rifle hunter my whole life. I want to get into archery because it's the quote unquote cool thing to do, and which
Yeah.
it is, guys. It is the cool thing to do. But having something like this where they can really get a little leg up in getting prepared and having the equipment that they need to get into archery, I think is huge. And guys, Jonathan puts out some really cool content on gear, and a lot of it is archery gear. And so check that out. It's man, you'll learn a ton from the videos that he puts out. So make sure and check those out. So do you have any
Appreciate
gear
that.
videos coming up soon?
Well, so the one, sorry if you hear my puppy over
Oh,
there
you're good.
yapping away. We're still trying to break him with that.
It takes a while,
The
especially if it's a puppy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the one that just came out today is this beautiful knife here, the cut bank from Montana Knife Company.
Oh yeah, I saw that
And I
on
guess people
Instagram.
aren't watching this, but it's
Yeah.
their paring knife, to go with their culinary line, which I'm going to tell you, I mean, even as a partner of Montana Knife Company, I was like, man, these are expensive kitchen knives.
Yeah.
And the first one that I had, actually, I bought the Santoku, and that's kind of their middle of the line. It's got a reverse Tanto style blade,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and it it makes me want to cook more.
Yeah.
Like having a nice knife and a nice cutting board makes you want to cook more. It's ridiculous.
It's true
And
though.
so yeah, and then getting this, so I've got that middle of the line, not the big horn, but the
Oh yeah.
Santoku, which is the step down from there, and then this little guy here, like, I mean, this thing is awesome. It's got, for people that aren't looking, a paring knife is a little bit smaller. It's the knife that you would think of, like maybe your grandma peeling your apples or
Yep.
cutting up, some tomatoes, and like slicey dicey kind of knife.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a big old honking kitchen knife, but I've cut meat with it. I've cut everything that you can think of. It slices really well, very thin knife,
Nice.
and it's pretty cool.
So
So
you said the video
um,
dropped today on that?
yeah. So it dropped today. So if this is coming out Friday, it was the Tuesday prior, and you probably already, sorry, missed the drop because it's coming Thursday. The drop for this knife is Thursday, and I
Oh,
guarantee you it's going to sell out. Like,
you're too
yeah,
late.
you're too late. But other ones that are coming out here, there is a new product for if you've been looking into getting sheep feet.
Mm-hmm.
I can't divulge too much because it's supposed to be launched this week. Um, but anyway, if you've been looking at sheep feet by the end of June, if it hasn't already come out by the time this podcast comes out, I'm putting out a conversation with Caleb, the owner of Sheep Feet, and get to know him a little bit more. But there's an awesome product that is going to cut down their lead times by
Oh.
a ton.
Oh.
And I'm really excited to share that with you guys. I can't say exactly what it is,
Yeah.
but instead of the current process is, you go and you order, they send you a box, you get someone to help you imprint your foot in the box. They send it back. They have to plaster mold it. If you've maybe put too much of a pressure point here or there, they have
Mm-hmm.
to adjust for that, and then they send them out to you. And they're a great company to work with.
Yeah.
And guys, if you have an HSA or an FSA account, Sheep Feet it uses that,
Mm-hmm.
so you can save some money with my discount plus using the HSA FSA accounts. Highly recommend getting at least one pair.
Nice.
I'm wearing them right now in my
Nice.
shoes, and so absolutely love them from day-to-day use to
Mm-hmm.
on the mountain. Like, they're a game changer. They're awesome, and they know what they're doing. So
I was gonna
that's a
say.
big one that's coming out. Sorry, I can't give more details on that, but look for that.
That's a
Uh,
good little cliffhanger though.
yeah,
Like now I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm sure people listening,
yeah,
because sheep feed is amazing. I mean, it's something that I've used for a long time, uh, been around for quite a while now, and they put out it makes a huge difference. Like you said the words game changer. They really are a game changer when you're on the mountain, and you don't realize how much insoles can make that much of an impact on your feet. But I did a podcast just a little bit ago talking about like what keeps you on the mountain, and having a good set of boots is one of those. But the boots only take you so far, and then you've got to have really good insoles in there to really kind of level you up a little bit. Because as soon as your feet are uncomfortable, you're done. You're off the mountain. You're not hunting anymore.
exactly,
So
exactly. And I love Crispy. I love their boots. I do not like their insert.
first thing I do when I
So
buy a set of Crispies is throw away the insole. First thing.
yeah, yeah. And they don't like that. But
It's the
in
truth
my
though.
opinion, I'm like, look, you make a boot, you don't make an insert. Like, if
Exactly.
you become an expert at inserts, you're really good at that. If you become an expert at boot, it's just like with bows. They're amazing at making bows.
Mm-hmm.
They suck at making strings. I don't
Exactly.
know any manufacturer that comes out with a great string.
That's so true.
It's
So
just
true.
kind of how it is.
Yep.
And so, like, you become really good at something, the scale's gonna decline somewhere else.
Yep.
You just got to be okay with that.
And they should be, honestly.
So, and I haven't tried Schnee's yet. I've heard really good things about Schnee's boots, but
I haven't
I
either.
have a I have a wide foot, so all the other boot companies are a little too narrow for me.
Mm-hmm.
Even with Crispies, I run a wide. They have a wider toe box, but
So can it?
as far as that, the other thing too, I guess the Mantis. This has been around for a while, but I keep forgetting you guys aren't on the camera. But the Mantis,
I
has
want to
a,
see it though. I like being able to see it.
yeah, so the Mantis has this little thing that you can attach to a gun, a rifle. It's this little tiny thing that fits on a pick rail. But also they make an attachment for your stabilizer or for you to put it on your bow. And so you can get statistics as like where you're pulling towards, or
Oh,
it's kind of like I think Matthews came out with their shot sense or something like
yeah.
that.
Yep. Shot
It's
sense.
similar to that. It's not built into the bow, but you
Uh-huh.
can put it on everything, pistol to rifle
Dang.
to archery stuff. I'm working on that as
That's
well.
cool. Yeah, I didn't know that was
And
coming
then,
out.
there's another one,
Oh.
another cliffhanger for you guys. Dark Energy.
Uh-huh.
So you guys have
Oh yeah.
seen their Spectre solar
Uh-huh.
panel, which is
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool. But some people were complaining about it being a little too big,
It is.
even though I'm like, it rolls up, but yeah.
It does roll up, but it's still
Yeah,
pretty dang big.
yeah. So there's a new item coming out soon that might fix that problem.
Yes,
So
I do know about this item actually.
okay,
So
perfect,
yeah, I don't.
perfect.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Do you have it?
Maybe.
You sucker. You sucker. Golly.
Yeah, maybe.
That'll be cool. That'll be cool. I'll look forward to that. I love dark energy stuff. Once I got down that road of dark energy, no turning back. Their stuff
Yeah.
is absolutely
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, my wife she was stealing my Nano for the longest time, so I had him send me another one because she was like, her battery, she had some Amazon one and it finally busted
Oh
on her. I was
yeah.
like, well, just take this one then. You keep taking it anyway. So the
Yeah.
Nano is really good, especially for like around the house EDC stuff. I don't use it on the mountain usually, just because it doesn't have as much power as the
The Poseidon
Pro.
Pro. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of the same way. If I'm going out on the mountain, that Poseidon Pro is what goes with me. It just has the more power, so you can charge more with it, and I don't know, a little bit more robust as well. So it's hard to beat that battery bank. It's pretty top notch.
Exactly.
So, dang, I'm
Exactly.
excited
So,
about
yeah,
this. I want to see some of this. When are these gonna come out?
I don't have a date on that yet.
Dang.
I don't have a date on that yet, but it's pretty sweet, and definitely fixes the problem of it being a little bit bigger. Just depending on whatever it is that you're running.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's say the Spectre was
And then
good,
I
except
guess
like it was
last
just
but
big.
not least, there is something else coming out from Initial Ascent as well. It's different from their big packs. So that will be kind of into summer, early fall. Look for that as well if you're into Initial Ascent stuff and maybe wanting something that isn't in their current lineup.
Gotcha.
Keep your
Man,
eye open for that.
you're quite the teaser over here, dude. Jeez, you got all the stuff coming out. This is great.
I can't get much more than that. I'll just say keep an eye on it. Yeah.
Well, man, let's go ahead and wrap this up. But I appreciate you taking some time with me to get to know you a little bit. Again, that was my biggest focus of this, is just to get to know you and talk about your podcast and your whole program and what you got going on over there. Let my listeners get to know you a little bit. And for those that are listening, make sure and go over and subscribe to his YouTube page and follow along on social media, all those things, because you won't be disappointed. Like I said, I've been consuming a lot of of Redbeard Outdoors lately, and have not been disappointed with any of. What's that?
I said I'm sorry.
No, it's honestly been good. I get kind of geek out a little bit when I got somebody coming on the podcast. I want to know everything that I can about you and what you do and what you're doing. And so it's been a lot of fun. I've been traveling a lot, so it's been able to keep me entertained while I've been traveling. So no, I appreciate it. And for those listening, I think that you guys would absolutely enjoy it. Jonathan, just let them know what's the best ways to follow your stuff and follow you.
Yeah. So I'm on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It's just Redbeard Outdoors. You can find me there. It's the same symbol across all the pages. On Instagram, I'm red.beard.outdoors because for some reason someone else has Redbeard Outdoors and I can't get it from them. I've tried messaging them. I've tried talking to Instagram. It's just not happening for some reason. So, but if you look up Redbeard Outdoors, I should pop up. Again, it used to be the same symbol. Now it's my face.
Yeah.
And then, that, and I guess Phorm Outdoors Facebook page, which we'll leave a link for as well in the description down below. So you can find me any of those places.
Yep, and I'll put links to all this stuff below. I'll put his handles so that you guys can see that, so you guys know where to find him. But that logo it's the glasses and the beard, right? That's the logo that's everywhere. It's a pretty cool logo. I like it. So
I appreciate it.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you taking some time with me to get to know you a little bit. Let my listeners get to know you. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing a fantastic job. I really appreciate what you're putting out there and the message that you're sending to everybody. And if we can help in any way, let us know, okay?
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one.